It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight is going to be a continuation of a previous adventure, and hopefully it'll go better than the previous adventure. But tonight we're going to try the vacuum out. I got some JB Weld, glue things back together, and very shortly we are going to test it out and see how everything is going. I do want to do a little bit of a forewarning though. OBS Studio 28.1.2 is the latest release. I hadn't updated to the latest release. I just updated this weekend. I tested it. I ran it through its paces. It might work. It might not work. So if there's any problems, we know who to blame tonight. That's all I've got to say about that situation. While we're checking in with people, let's say hello, see who's here and joining us. If you want to hear your name, make a comment in the chat, and I am going to see if I can make it through these names without completely butchering? I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's start out with Artie Zero from Us America Model Railroading. We got Cameron from Caboose 121, Roy Hardwick from Containerman 68, Dragon Ball DB Tech is in the house, Derail Daryl's here, Don Head, Eddie Pappert, Frank from Steeler Fan 820, Jeff the Railroad Enthusiast, Jim Tedesco, John Benicki, John Train BFGR, Dwight from the Curly Express. We've got Mark M&M Rails, Bernard from Mini Prince, James from Mr. Jimbo Trains, Andrew from Mr. Pictova, Nathan Fivechime, Norm Miller, Lauren Hurwitz, Ray Bertelson, Roger Coleman, Ron Moen, Roy Eltham, John from Schuylkill River Valley, the High Plains Drifter, Stephen with a PH, the Plumber 33, and last but not least, another Stephen known as Wigwag Workshop, or 3Dub, or there was some other name that we were supposed to be calling him that I can't remember right now. Couple more people I did see pop in. Thomas Grassi popped in. Let's see, who am I gonna miss? Let's see. So hello, John. I don't know if I said hello to Jeff the Railroad Enthusiast. Daniel Banks got here as well. Cameron, did I say hello to you? I can't remember anymore. It's that time of night. Let's just move on. See what else is new. They say on YouTube you should set goals that you actually have some control over. I set a goal that I don't have any control over. It's not really a goal. I guess it's a milestone. I feel like I'm halfway to my next YouTube milestone. A big YouTube milestone is 1,000 subscribers. For me, I'm saying the next big milestone is 2,500 subscribers. So I'm halfway between 1,000 subscribers and 2,500 subscribers, which is, I think, 1,750, if I've done the math correctly. So I just need another 750 subscribers to reach my next goal. I don't know. That's what's happening. That's where we're going. Who knows what? Who knows? It's all fun. Thank you, Andrew. $5 super chat to help me reach my subscriber goal. Not sure quite how that works. $5. Well, we'll see. We'll put that $5 towards getting somewhere. I am actually going to, what's it called? The Liberty Science Center this weekend. There's a G-scale layout at the Liberty Science Center that opened up, I think, back in August. So I'm going to go see that on Friday. So that should theoretically be interesting. It's getting a little colder here, though. So if you're following me on Facebook or looked on the community tab, or Mark says he'll take $5 and tell 750 of my best friends to subscribe to you. Liberty Science Center is not too scary, although they do have a pretty cool planetarium. Yes, you can buy subscribers. No, I don't recommend it, but yeah, I mean, you can go online and search for it, and you can buy subs. But the problem with buying subs is then they're not really organic. So when you stop paying for the subs drop off, and then it becomes a whole thing. Anyway. Yeah, we can't have people making fun of dogs. We can't do that. Yeah, I mean, they call it the dark web, but I don't know really how dark it is. If you just do a Google search, it comes up. I actually just had some hot dogs. Does anybody else do this? Maybe it's just me, but I cut up the hot dogs, fry them up a little bit in the pan just to warm them up, and then I mix them in with some eggs. So basically it's like scrambled eggs and hot dogs. I don't know, is that a weird thing? I mean, it's just like sausages and eggs, but it's just hot dogs and eggs. So, yeah, I did. Mark's mentioning my shirt. What does it say? Ask me about my model trains. And then it says down here in the small print that's covered up by Mark's comment right now, it says, actually, you don't need to ask me. I will tell you. So, there you go. The Roach Coach used to have that for breakfast every morning. Steven used to say that. Roy says, I do that with mac and cheese, put in a little bit of hot dogs. Rusty's done that before. DB Tech does it with beans. That's true. Jim says, that's disgusting. I knew there would be somebody. Container Man's saying you're weird. My dad says it's his favorite, so now you know where I got that from. I don't think you can have organic and hot dog in the same sentence. Now I know why he puts up a 30-minute notice, Ray says. He watches us talk about him before the chat, so he knows how to answer in the chat. Ray, I caught your comment earlier. I don't want to have to go back up there and scroll up and find it. Can you show us a cooking show and end scale? I don't know. Speaking about cooking, though, I am prepping for the winter. I started mentioning this. I posted on my community tab, posted on Facebook. It's the Humanity Junction hot water jug. It's one of those electric hot water jugs. it did, I don't know how, but it somehow ended up being the like exact perfect color. It's just an Amazon. It's cheap. I wanted like a 2-cup thing or whatever, and it worked out to be just exactly. I'll post the link. I don't know why anybody would actually want to buy this, but let's see. Oh, that didn't work. That was a complete fail. Copy. What should we call this? Hot water. So that's how I'll be making hot water, because I like my hot chocolate. And the hot chocolate is green as well, because I like mint. So maybe we could do a cooking show where everything is green. I don't know if that's good. Yes, I did use JB Weld. I used JB Weld for the first time ever. That's almost as bad as putting ketchup on a hot dog. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, mint hot chocolate. Big fan of mint, big fan of hot chocolate. Essentially what that is a tin of sugar with a little bit of chocolate and a little bit of mint in it. But that's yeah, we could do that. Green eggs and hot dogs. I don't know. I don't really know what green eggs are. I mean, I know it's a thing. I mean, I've read the Dr. Seuss book maybe twice. So I know like green eggs is a thing, but I don't know what green eggs are. But who knows? Other things that I don't understand. Just kidding. People don't know, I was scanned by Mini Prince at the Timonium Train Show. He's now got a bunch of the minis up here. DJ of DJ's Trains, I'm here. Sparky's here. Rick the Tree is here. Tom from Tom's Trains and Things is here. The Plumber 33 is here. So there's a bunch of I mentioned DJ already. So there's a bunch of different YouTubers and people here. So it's just kind of fun. Bernard did tell me that it's supposed to take, he said the scanning would take off some weight, but I think it added weight. The problem is they tell you to like hold still, and I kind of like brace down to hold still, and I should have stood up straight. So anyway, I'm trying to it's a made-up contest, completely made-up contest, doesn't exist, but I'm trying to get the most Heath minis on everybody's layout. I just saw Bernard's comment. Stop clenching. You told me to stand still. I'm trying to get as many mini Heaths on as many layouts as possible out there. So yeah, I mean they're in HO scale they're $5. In O scale they're $9.99. So very reasonably priced. Mini Prince is a sponsor of the channel, so you can use the code HUMAN. There are other sponsors. There are other people supporting the channel in many, many different ways. Thank you, everybody that is contributing, helping push things forward. I'm gonna run the thank you, and I'll be right back. And we're gonna take out that vacuum and see if I can ballast track with a vacuum.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
Wigwag, were you paying attention? So here's the plan. There's this vacuum attachment. I think I showed it. I showed it last week. in a couple pieces, but I showed it last week. I've now got it all put together. It's essentially it's two parts. It's the sucking part, and then it's the mixer part. And the way it basically works is the vacuum side is the one sticking straight up, and then the side with the sucker is this one. And if you look in here, the ballast comes in the one with this longer thing, right? So the ballast is actually gonna enter the bottle, drop into the bottle, and not get sucked into the vacuum. And theoretically, the level of suckiness of this process is gonna leave the perfect amount of ballast on my track. And I thought the best way to do this was with my my test track setup, because then we could test the N scale little doohickey, which this is the HO scale one. It's not connected, but basically it's grooved to line right up with the tracks. And the N scale one has grooves, obviously, for the N scale, and it's smaller. I have not tried this yet. I've seen videos. It works in the videos. I don't know if it's going to work for this. So that's going to be the test tonight. So I got some things prepped. I got my wet water. I've got some glue mixture. We'll call it arsenic glue. I've got some Woodland Scenics fine gray ballast. It's just some regular old ballast that I got. I got a pipette. This I'll use for the glue, and I do have this little ballast spreader. I saw Chris from Go Via Go Home using this the other day, and he like things were just working for him. Like, it looked pretty good. So I may try this to put down some of the ballast to get a nice sort of spread of it. But I am definitely going to, I'll definitely be using the vacuum to clean it up, I think. And I just realized this nail, I have this nail in here so tight that as I run this over it, there's actually like a drop as it drops. So the drifter says, on N scale, what is the size of the screw on the truck on rolling stock? I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. Glue is actually going to be last. It'll go ballast, vacuum, and then glue. Is somebody making Spaceball? Oh yeah, there you go. Suck to blow. That is my favorite line. I know it's like so juvenile, but that's my favorite line from Spaceballs. I kind of want to figure out how to pull that nail up a little bit before we start this, but I don't know that I have a way of getting in there. So if you go back and watch the video that I made of this test track thing that I did, there was no cork on it. So right before the show, actually, while I was watching Redbird Tony, I had ripped all of the track off of this, put down the cork, because the reason I did this is because I didn't think the ballast was going to stick to this shelf. This shelf is just so slick that I didn't think it was going to work. Jeff says, glue first so the ballast can stay down. Here's the problem. If you glue first, then the ballast will stick anywhere that you've got glue. If you stick the ballast down first, then you can move the ballast around until you get it exactly the way you want it. And then once you get it exactly the way you want it, then you glue it down. So that's the way it's supposed to happen. Roy, so valid question, right? So if you vacuum before gluing, won't that vacuum all of the ballast that you put down? According to every video I've seen, no. I don't quite understand how it works, but I think that's part of what we're going to we're going to test, right? So you can't, and I know, the issue with spreading the glue out is, unless you're very good at it, you're not going to be able to get glue between the ties, right? So the goal of ballast, if you watch videos on ballast, the ballast doesn't come up above the ties. The ballast sits below the ties. So if you get glue on the top of a tie, then you're going to stick ballast to the top of the tie, which is where it shouldn't be. Bernard and I were talking about some advertising ideas, so we were throwing out some shirt ideas. That actually does sound like that would be a pretty good thing. Andrew, I don't think that they don't make a G scale version, so I don't know. Here, if you want to see the links are down in the description below. I got mine from Superior Model Trains. The adapter comes from Bexell West, is who makes them, who's a UK person, a UK modeler. Superior Model Railroads is Peter Lloyd Lee's store, and he is the US distributor of these. So I have an N scale and an HO scale one, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's going to happen. Tom, try and do that with N scale. Split Rock says, I'm waiting to see the creative ways modelers change the camera into something else. Somebody did talk about turning me into a trident, but I think Jason Momoa definitely looks a little bit better. So Roy, yes, it only sucks above the ties, at least in all the videos I've seen. That should be my, that'll be my my catchphrase from all the videos I've seen. Tech says if you glue before you ballast, then you're gonna have a bad time. Yep. So let's. I have not found the 3D print file. Somebody could probably duplicate it, but I mean it's $20 plus shipping. So I don't have a printer. So anyway, let's So I'm gonna use an eyedropper on N scale after I put the ballast down. So I'm gonna put the glue on top of the ballast, not the ballast on top of the glue. One trick I did see that I thought about attempting to do, but then I just put the switches down anyway. One thing I've seen is you can take a piece of tape and you put tape. I mean, I guess I can just show it, right? You take a piece of tape, you put tape on the bottom of a switch, and then you sprinkle the ballast on it, and then the ballast only sticks where the tape is. And that's a good way to ballast the switch so that you don't get a lot of other ballast where it shouldn't be, because the ballast is only going to stick to the tape. So then after you get it down, there. Yep. So I'm going to do it that way. It's how I've ballasted other things as well. I've just never used the vacuum. I've always used a brush, and it's always looked terrible. So let's start this. This is this will be interesting. Andrew, that's a great question. There you go. He will make it for you. Jeff Thoreau, do you actually need to use glue? I would recommend a very small piece size in between each tie. You'll see. You'll see how we you'll see. So Rayron says that the vacuum has not worked for him. So we're gonna find out. I'm gonna start by using the method of the this little bin thing. We'll see if it works. The bin worked for Go Via Go Home, so maybe I can make it work. We'll find out. I don't have a bin for HO scale, so I'm gonna start with N scale, and then And then we're going to go, then we'll do HO scale, because I think HO scale might be easier. I don't like ballasting. I don't like the look of Kato Unitrack with the built-in roadbed. And I dislike having to ballast it because the built-in roadbed doesn't soak up the glue, which means when you put the glue on it, it usually like runs all over the place because it doesn't soak in. Whereas when we get to the HO scale, we're right on the cork, so the glue and everything is going to soak in really well. I'm ballasting, so this is Kato Unitrack. It's kind of like the Bachmann Easy Track. I ballast this just because I don't like how even this looks. So yeah, exactly. It looks terrible without the ballast. That's what I think. So this little gadget, you supposedly just do this. That's actually kind of cool. It's like I mean, there's too much. There's too much ballast, but it is kind of working. I'm not really sure how to take it off the rails now while there's still ballast in it. Oh, all right, don't do it the way I just did it. I don't know what to do with this with ballast in it. Stay over there. Okay, so vacuum. Let's try the vacuum. Worst case scenario, all the ballast should end up in here. So in theory, we're going to be okay, whatever happens. But we're going to find out. Nathan, he does actually have some clowns already, although he calls them scary clowns. Thomas, Thomas is saying the putty knife has made an appearance. I don't think Thomas is live. I think he's watching a couple minutes back because the putty knife came out a couple minutes back. So I think he's a little bit behind. No, clowns are not scary. They don't have to be scary. Okay. So the plan now is to use this vacuum. The ballast should end up in here. I'm going to use this end to suck it up. And this end here, this end is going to go to my shop vac. And even with these adapters, it doesn't... you don't get to do any polls on my channel. This goes to my shop vacs, and it doesn't stick real tight, so I'm gonna probably tape it up or something. And yeah, split rock. So the order you're saying is the order I'm gonna do it in. Hopefully do it well. And I'm knocking everything over. Don't go anywhere. So I'm trying to get the. I'm trying. I don't really have enough room. I'm trying to get this thing on here, but it doesn't stay, so I'm gonna have to tape it. So we're gonna get some blue tape here to tape it, and then we'll hopefully have this a little bit. Wigwag, I will send it to you and let you try it if you want to give that a try. I did actually blow on the bottle to reinflate the bottle because I did. So this, these are these kind of things that, like, if I had planned ahead, I probably should have done this part before the stream started. But you know how I like to roll. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna turn this thing on. Hopefully, the ballast is gonna go in there. I'm gonna stand it upright, I think, so the ballast falls down because you want the. Yes, ballast is absolutely model railroad glitter. So I'm gonna when I use this, I'm gonna hold it up like this. I'm trying to see where can I trying to hang this up. I've got a little hook over here on the side, so I'm hanging up the thing. These are a little too short. These I bought on Amazon. Probably be better off with longer ones. Okay, so vacuum is going, and you can see it. I don't know if you can see the thing moves, or the thing sucks. So So that was using the N scale one on the HO track. And you can see it leaves it, it leaves it between the, and the ballast is in there. You can see it right there, maybe. All right, so here we go. Well, that doesn't work. So it worked extremely well on the HO, leaving behind some stuff. But on the N scale, I think it could be because it's the plastic track, it ended up sucking it all up. But it's all in here, but it's sucking it all off the top. I think because the the plastic is so far down on the ties. What I could do, and this is probably, what I could do is put a hole in the system so it doesn't suck as hard. Because I think right now it's just sucking too hard. Let me, so you can also kind of run it along the edge, is what I saw. Let's see. Yeah, it's sucking it all up. Well, so test one is a big fail. So test one didn't work. So I'm going to try it on the HO scale track. I'm just going to use the N scale little brush, but I'm going to try it on this HO scale track and see if it works. I'm guessing, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing it's sucking too hard for the plastic on the unitrack. Like on this track, it can pull the air in around it, but on this track, because it's solid plastic, it can't pull the air in anywhere. But here's the advantage of this, right? Is this is not Arizona. What is it called? Arizona, whatever it is. This is just Woodland Scenics. I do have some of the Arizona stuff though, but that's not what this is. So we're gonna try this. All right, so there's more ballast. Let's see if it works on. Let's see if it works on the non-plastic. Yes, that is true. So the only instructions that I have on this are these right here that say, get perfect results in a fraction of the time it normally takes to ballast track. So those are the instructions that I have. All right. So we've got the ballast. We're spreading the ballast out a little bit. I'm just making a mess. So let's see. Let's see what happens now. We'll zoom back in a little bit because I think that's better when people can... wrong one. There we go. Hey, Mr. Brad Anderson, Arizona Rock and Mineral. Thank you. So yes, I do have Arizona Rock and Mineral stuff, but that's not what this is. All right, so let's try this again. I know. Yep, the vacuum sucks too much. All right, so. So that worked much better. So that worked much better. I do think exactly what Jim is saying. The gadget needs a pressure regulator, and I will show you. I will show you something that I did that is kind of now biting me in the butt, I guess. So this cap here used to rotate to have holes and then not have holes. But the problem was you couldn't close it all the way. There's no way to completely shut it off. So what I did was I just JB welded it all up. So what I think I probably need to do is, like people are saying, is if I want to use it on the Unitrack, then I probably have to just make some other holes in here or something like that. But yeah, I mean this. I mean so that was the N scale head that I then used on the HO scale track. And I mean, I don't know, you know, I'd probably go over it again right here. Right here, you know, just to get that little bit up. Let's see. Let's see if I can make this happen. Oh. So the other thing that I think is happening is there definitely seems to be a like a speed or something that's right, because like I went over this spot like many times, and I think by going over this spot so many times, that's when I kind of got that's when it kind of picked up too much ballast in these spots here. But I mean, I can just kind of open it up and try it again. Ballast does get on top of the ties, but it's not on top of the ties as much as it is in modeling. I mean, you know, at least in my experience, it's on top of the ties a lot more in modeling than it is in the prototype. But I mean, it's collecting, you know, it's collecting everything in the bottle, and I can, you know, I screw the bottle back on. You know, you can see there's still some in there. So I'm not wasting ballast by doing this. It's being reused. I need to, we're gonna go back over this a little bit. Now I got another spot, another place. So let's keep going. Let's actually secure this ballast down just to sort of keep going with the process. See how the whole process goes. Just because, why not? And I got 20 minutes. I think, yes, Daniel, agree. Yeah, you know, one rock here or there kicked up is one thing. Having the ballast just on top. So DB Tech, there are grooves on this that are designed, you know, the flow is supposedly designed for it. I think a lot of this is just going to depend on I think Bernard just wants to see me keep vacuuming. I think a lot of this is going to depend more on the vacuum you use. I do think this is a, at least from what I've experienced here, you know, this is a viable solution for ballasting. I don't know that I wouldn't necessarily do my switches, or, well, maybe I would. I don't know. There was a little thing there. Ooh, that would be fun. There you go. I can do a slow motion video. I haven't seen that. There are a bunch of other videos out there. Bexel West has them. Donegal Dad has a video on it. There's definitely other videos out there that you can watch and see this. And that's it. You know, for 20, I mean, you know, this is probably $20 also. Maybe it's 15. But you know, these things are about the same price. So for 20 bucks, you know, it's not a bad deal. You can get N scale or HO scale. And then the connector type I have is bottle. I don't know what the bucket lid is, but I have the bottle one. But yeah, I do think it's something that needs to be played with a little bit. I think it's definitely successful on the HO track though. That's for sure. So what I'm going to do now, this is my bottle of wet water, and if you don't know about these bottles, you need to get yourself one of these bottles. Let me actually show it to you first. So when you hold on, let me do something before I do this. Before I start spraying liquids next to all of my electronics, I'm going to cover up the electronics. Why don't we do that first? Why don't we? This is Glad Press and Seal. This is fantastic stuff for this type of thing because it sticks to things. Okay, now I can show you. So let's see if you can see the spray on this thing. This, yes. So normally, yes, if you have, so here's a spray bottle of wet water, right? It's one of these like pump ones, right? And it like comes out and it's like it moves things around, right? It's got so much force, it moves things around. This bottle though, is just such a fine mist that it doesn't move things around. It's just like, this sprayer is great. So if you need a sprayer, don't get these. Don't get these little pump ones. You know, don't get this kind. Get one of these. Here's the link for it. You can see I bought two of them. I have one for water. I have one for other stuff. SPRAYER. Yeah, so don't spray at this track. Yes, but with this sprayer is so, it's just so like misty that's all it is a mist. So normally I would agree. I'd say use a dropper. Don't spray it. But this stuff, other way. But this stuff is. I wish there was a way to like show the spray. It's a really, really good light misting. But for the glue, I am going to use a dropper. Dwight wants to make cocoa. Yes, so the link I just posted for the sprayer, it is an affiliate link. You can check out in the description below. I've actually got other Amazon lists where you can see different tools and different things that I use. The one that I have is the $10 one. They do have one that's $8. That's the 5-ounce one. So it's, you know, half the size of this. I have one for just regular water and then one for wet water. I wouldn't put your glue in here. I think it would probably goop up with the glue. But yeah, it is kind of... Oh, you're not a fan of the rainforest method? I think it works really well for getting things soaked in. And then after I do that, then I come back with the dropper, and then do the dropper with the glue to then seal it all in. But yeah, I definitely it's being attracted to the ties. I don't like the other sprayers, but this sprayer in particular works. I feel like I have to like focus and concentrate. This mix probably isn't the right proportions. I just sort of made it real quick right before this show. But, you know, as long as the liquid dries out of it, you know, it'll be fine. The thing you don't want is the ballast to float up to the top, which it's doing a little bit. This is a little bit too runny. It is picking up some of the ballast, and it is floating a little bit. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Mister. So Bernard at Mini Prints, there are a couple different versions, at least in the US. There's a $17 version, a $15 version, a $10 version, and an $8 version. I don't know which. Yeah, this is a little too liquidy. And I don't know why I can't get this dropper to drop between the rails. It just wants to drop on top of the ties. It's like it's attracted to the whatever on the ties for some reason. And I'm curious about this one. Not for Canada, they don't work. When it dries, use a metal dental pick to get the ballast off the ties and the rails. There you go. What I was actually just going to ask is, do people go back with a paper towel and wipe the glue off the top of the rails? Or off the top of the ties? Or do you just leave it and just let it dry and then come back and just, you know, paint it or whatever you're going to do? Some people will paint the rail before they ballast too. Some people talk about painting the rail after they ballast, because they kind of like the rust sort of, they like the rust getting into the ballast. They think it looks more realistic. Some people paint the rails and then put the ballast over it. But I'm curious, does anybody blot it off? Or do you just put it on and just keep going? Just do it. So I don't have road bed. I just have it on cork. So I don't really have a good edge. I guess the good thing with ballast is, especially with this vacuum, is you could do this technique, just get a little bit down, glue it in place, and then build on top of it. Nope, I just knocked it out of place. But, you know, on the HO scale track, it got it to a pretty decent height. Thomas says, leave it. Seems a paper towel would make a mess. Nothing is worse than trying to rearrange wet ballast. That is completely true. Absolutely. Looks like Joe got some minis. Operator error is generally the case when I'm on the project. So I am just kind of making sure I got enough glue on this. I want enough glue, but not too much glue. And if people that know me know, I probably use too much glue. But I guess that's why I don't ballast the Unitrack very well, is because I'm definitely a little heavy on the glue. And if you do the, if you have the cork underneath, it just absorbs into the cork. I feel like I'm saying cork weird. Cork. Yeah, so I'll leave it go now. So that's the vacuum. That's kind of how it it's kind of how it goes. Never mess with wet ballast. See, Mini Prince, there's another shirt for you right there. Never mess with wet ballast. I gotta write these down, all these shirt ideas. We gotta write them down and have them make kind of a list of taglines and see how they go. Ray says, I'm old school, ballast brush, alcohol, then wet glue, let it dry. Yeah, I have a hard time. Yeah, this is merch gold. Bernard, write them down and send them to me later. I have a hard time with the brush. I don't think I have the right brush. A lot of people will use a fan brush. I don't have any fan brushes. I do have some softer brushes, but I haven't found a good fan brush that I like. So I tend to flick the ballast all over the place. And that's kind of what I like about this method, is that you're not, like, you're putting it down and then lifting some up, as opposed to like putting it down and then like spreading it all over the place. But to each his own. I thought I'd show this as a thing. I was kind of curious about it myself, and I hoped some other people might have found it interesting. Ask the girlfriend for brushes. The girlfriend doesn't do any painting. Cheap paintbrush assortment. I have a lot of cheap paintbrush assortments, but the problem I'm having is a lot of the ones that I end up with have this type of brush. And that's just way too hard of a brush. I've got some brushes like these. Even these are too hard. I've showed this one before. This is my favorite brush for dusting off end scale trains, and it's a shaving brush. So this one's nice and soft. I went to Blick and to look for some fan brushes, and I just couldn't find a fan brush that I really liked. They were like, the prices were kind of weird. So yeah, I'm a mixed bag with my brushes. I need to up my paintbrush game. That's for sure. Everyone here seems to know a lot about makeup brushes, though. That's for sure. Corey says, add a little bit of alcohol or hairspray to your scenic cement and it will soak down through immediately. There is actually, if you notice, this is in a 99% isopropyl alcohol bottle. This did at one point start out as a little bit of alcohol and glue. So this is actually mostly... I don't remember how much water is in this. This might be mostly alcohol at this point. So we don't have Walmarts around here. But yeah, the first brush will work if you learn how to use it. I probably need a lot more patience than I have. So yeah, I thought your layout was ballasted. Am I wrong? Must be a lot of clowns in the chat to know about makeup brushes. Valid point. Valid point. But yeah, I'm not gonna ballast this guy for a while. Oh, so you do say makeup brushes are great for weathering. I do. Let's see if I can find them. I got from Micromark at a show. Everything at the shows is pretty cheap, right? So, well, I don't know, it's cheap, but Micromark had this little set of. Actually, I don't think this is from Micromark. I think this I just got from wherever. This might work for ballasting. It's kind of soft. But I got these for like as a little weathering kit from Micromark, as a little starter kit to kind of learn how to do this. Containerman says we all have been doing this longer than you, human. Wearing makeup, you've all been wearing makeup more than yeah. If you have a girlfriend or wife, you know what a makeup brush is. My girlfriend wears very little makeup, which works for me. But those are the brushes I have. Maybe one day I'll try weathering. Tony, Redbird Tony on the previous stream really knocked it out of the park with his weathering. He just like went at it and just did it and made it happen. And it was kind of, in a weird way, it was inspiring to see somebody just weather stuff so like quickly and not like, a lot of the weathering I see people do or that they post, it's like this like epic event of weathering. And I really liked that Tony he got the pan pastels out, just put some streaks on it, brushed them in, and moved on to the next one. And I thought that was kind of neat. Uh-oh. Somebody didn't lock the door on their way out. But yeah, so yeah, you're here, we can start. I'm about to make like a tree and leave. Get it? Rick the tree? Ray says, Joe, Heath is already weathered. Yeah. I'm not too grizzled yet, but a little bit, somewhat. So get these sprayers. I like these sprayers. This is a maybe buy. I think I'm glad that I got it. I think if you've got a big layout of this kind of track, not this kind of track. Oh, I'm like touching things and shit. So if you have this track, I don't think this works unless you, I don't know, turn down your vacuum a lot. But with this kind of track, I think if you've got a big layout, this probably is going to work pretty well for you. At least to get an initial layer of ballast down. Daniel says good weathering isn't done in a single layer ever. I agree, but I like that. I like that he wasn't afraid to just like put on that initial layer and then just like move on. I would probably spend hours like trying to get it right. And I liked that he just kind of did it and moved on and, went on to the next one. And I think that was, and he was having such a good time too. Like he was really enjoying it, which was fun for me to see him, excited. Yeah, you do have to start somewhere. I'm still at the point though, even my dollar, even my dollar trains that are up there in the corner with the wrong couplers and everything, I haven't quite gotten the urge yet to weather them. Yeah, there are some people that spend their entire railroad modeling career as doing weathering, which I think is great. Roy is trying to convince me that life isn't perfect. I don't know, Roy. I don't know. Ray says, we all love you. I'm 65. My weathering has gone from brown to gray. Yeah, well, mine just disappeared. Mine just went completely away. Yeah, I didn't have anything running tonight. I got a little frustrated with the Z scale. I messed something up in the corner and the track is kind of messed up. I still have the Halloween train on the N scale track, and I've actually got another train that would be in the way. So I didn't run that stuff tonight. I kind of stuck with what I was doing right here tonight, and yeah, I got to get that stuff running again though. That's for sure. I don't know if I showed this. Did I show this yet? This was a project I think I showed the box, but I don't think I showed it finished. So Roy Container Man got me this Lego set, and I put it together, and I've now got it sitting over over on the side here. But it was a fun little project. I liked it. Derail Daryl with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Daryl. Fun fund. Thank you for all you do. Yeah, I like doing this. It's fun. I like hanging out. I like holding space for people to come and chat, and less than perfect weather. I know that's the thing about weathering, right? Is it's never perfect. Yeah, and that's what I've got to do. Yeah, shears to my head. I wish. I grew too tall for my hair. Well, it wasn't. George Carlin used to have this line of saying something like, "I'm not losing my hair; it's just sliding off the back of my head," because he used to have long hair. So, Russell Rockin says, "I'm 58. I still have brown hair, but I have a solid gray beard." Yeah, I'll be 50 in March. Nathan DeLay is doing a meet and greet on March 11th at Northlands. And if I go, that will be, not that I want to take over his event, but that's my 50th birthday weekend. So we'll see how it goes. Yes, Mr. Conductor. Exactly, Cameron. Exactly. John says, find a photo to follow for your weathering. And that's, I guess, a little bit of what's hard for me is I don't do a lot of prototypical stuff. So I don't spend a lot of time looking at that sort of thing. Northlands is with a Z, Northlandz, and it is in Flemington, New Jersey. So that's what I meant. Weathering ain't perfect in life, so why too perfect in modeling? Yes. Yeah. My brains are forcing my hair out. I wish. Sometimes, at least some of the feedback I get is the exact opposite of that. Where is Flemington, New Jersey? It is in Flemington, New Jersey. But it's in the U.S., I guess, if you consider New Jersey a part of the U.S., which it is, but you know, it isn't. Thomas says it's about 30 minutes from his house. There is a bus that goes pretty close from the city down that way. My dad actually lives probably 15 minutes from Flemington. So he is pretty close down there as well. I grew up not too far from that area. There, between Allentown and New York City. That's true. Yes, it's true. Daniel says you don't have to be a prototype modeler to benefit from checking a few pictures. And that, yeah, once I start doing it, that is definitely what I'll do is I'll look at some pictures. I was just checking out the glue is clearing up nicely. The ballast, at least on this side, is starting to go back to its regular color. So it's kind of neat. It kind of worked. Norfolk Southern is down in that area. That is true. My dad said it'd be nice to see you on your birthday. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Apparently, Bernard is now hitting the Google Maps or whatever map service he is using, and finding all sorts of directions from Flemington, New Jersey to various places in the world. You're supposed to be documenting the good lines that people are saying so that we can put them on t-shirts. You don't have time to be Google mapping things. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I hope this was a little bit interesting, seeing probably a different method of ballasting that a lot of people don't use, but I think it is something worth checking out, and depending on the size of your layout, might be something worth adding to your own layout. From the city that never sleeps, farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.